What's up, everybody? Andrew Eng here, and welcome to the Self-Healing Institute, an online academy for athletic entrepreneurs. You know how, as an entrepreneur and athlete, you're always on the go, busy with running the business, you're taking care of your family, you're trying to stay fit. All of these things can take so much time and energy. And because we're the type of people who can push through any type of pain, we end up just dealing with injuries and illnesses as they come up in favor of taking care of the problem that we see right now. The problem is, usually at some point, the pain continues to build. It's not going away. And at some point we realize, hey, we can't ignore this anymore. We got to take care of this issue now, because now daily tasks are becoming a chore. It hurts to even lift your arm over your head or open the car door. When we get to this point, we realize if we want to continue running our business, taking care of our family, and staying fit, we have to take care of our health and our pain. The problem is, there are no frameworks that guide us through this process. Everything is a quick fix, instant pain relief, a surgery, medication. Now, these things are extremely important in emergency situations. But what if it's not an emergency yet? It's this nagging pain that keeps building and building. We don't want to wait till it gets to the point where we absolutely need medication and surgery. We want to take care of it along the way, because the common path that we take is to work as hard as we can until we hit this threshold and then get injured and are forced to stop. And then we take all this time to recover and we have to go all the way back up. And because we were so excited, what happens? Get injured again, and you go back down, and it's this sharp cycle of ups and downs. This is common in athletics. This is common in entrepreneurship and business, where we're just pushing ourselves to the max all the time. Now, I've been down this road before, and I've come up with a new way. Instead of waiting until you get injured and are forced to take a break, every time you get to that point where you start to feel some pain or injury, don't just ignore it, take care of it right then and there. So instead of sharp ups and downs, it's a gradual upward progression. In this way, pain and injury are just short-term issues that pop up along the path. Just like getting hungry or sleepy or thirsty, they're easy to take care of. I would rather take a break on purpose rather than wait until I have to take a forced break because I got so far gone that now I'm injured or have a chronic illness and I can't work on what I gotta work on. This is why we need frameworks and guidance to put us on our path so we can get to our goal of living a pain-free, high-performance life. And the way we do this is through a framework called the 4 pillars of self-healing. These pillars are values, strategy, mindset, and tactics. And each one is a framework that illuminates an important, essential aspect of living a pain-free life. Values represent our goal. What kind of person do we want to be? In this system, we call it the 5 core values. Strategy represents the path that we want to take to achieve our goal. In this system, we call it the 3 phases. Mindset represents the patterns of thought that guide us along our path. It's kind of like a compass, directing us in the right direction so that we don't get lost. In this system, we call it the 6 secrets of self-healing. And finally, action. These are the actual steps that we take to get to our goal. In this system, we call it the 5 elements of self-healing. Now, how did all of this come to be? How did I create this system that seems to help with any type of injury or illness, no matter what it is? Well, back when I was 18 years old, I was chronically injured in every joint in my body. This was from training in competitive sports like water polo, wrestling, and swimming. And then I got into acrobatics like parkour, free running, and martial arts tricking. I delved headfirst into all of these intense training modalities, but there wasn't any focus on healing. All anybody could tell me when I got injured was to put ice on it, take ibuprofen, just rest for a while, wear a brace. None of it worked. I continued training on my injuries, trying to work around the pain, and things just kept getting worse. Every day, every time I would go out to train, I would just get injured, deal with the pain, and keep trying to move on. At some point, when I was training to become a Hollywood stuntman and professional parkour athlete, I got a concussion by hitting my head on a concrete wall. I kept training on it and eventually got to a point where every time I turned my head left or right, I got nauseous and dizzy and I just couldn't continue forward. I told the head of the stunt facility that I was training at, "Sir, you know what? I cannot go any further. I just can't. I can't even turn my head, let alone practice stunt falls and fight scenes." And that was a pivotal moment in my career. I realized that I couldn't just keep pushing through. I had to take the time to heal myself. And I shifted all of that drive and focus I had towards my original dream and put it towards myself to heal my body so that I could accomplish any dream that I wanted. Over the course of the next 2 years, I managed to heal all of my own injuries, largely by guessing and just figuring it out. When I realized that I had reached a point of having no pain, no injuries, and full range of motion in my body, I thought, wow, I really am onto something. I made something. With this new body, I pursued a new dream, becoming a professional dancer. I had seen in the boba shop trying to order some popcorn chicken, a screen of America's Best Dance Crew on the TV in the corner. And it was the first season I saw Kaba Modern dancing on the stage. And I thought, whoa, I had never even seen dancing like that before. That looked so cool. I used to copy the Jabberwockies and copy Kaba Modern, trying to do the dances that they were doing. I thought it was so cool. I realized that this was a form of low impact exercise that I could do, and I loved it. So I kept training it until eventually I became a professional dancer and ended up performing on America's Best Dance Crew with my old crew, Mixed Elements. I did the blow-ups, which is when everything stops and the person does a big trick. I was the guy who had to do the tricks and land on beat and dance in and out of choreography. It was a tricky position, and the only thing that helped me get through America's Best Dance Crew and all the other live performance that we did was the self-healing techniques that helped prevent my injuries from not allowing me to perform at my best. I had to be on point. I had to do the flips and be precise with them, because if I didn't, I would get injured on stage and that would just be embarrassing. So I proved that self-healing can work at the highest levels. And I thought, when I decided to leave dancing, what can I do to continue helping people with this thing that I learned? So I decided to go to massage school, where I studied deep tissue massage, energy healing, and anatomy. I built a successful massage practice, and when I decided I wanted to move on and improve my skills even more, I went to acupuncture school and traditional Chinese medicine. I went through a 4-year master's degree program and eventually became a licensed acupuncturist. Over the next few years, working as an acupuncturist in various clinics, seeing thousands upon thousands of patients, I started recognizing patterns. Hey, everybody seems to get injured in the same places, and the same solutions seem to help. At some point, I realized that even healing someone with my own hands wasn't the whole answer, because the pain kept on coming back. Have you ever gone to get a healing treatment or tried taking some medication or even had surgery and it felt better for a little while, but then the pain came back? It wasn't a long-term solution. What is the true long-term solution? It's self-healing. It's the work that you do in between healing sessions that really determines how your life turns out. They say the quality of your life is the quality of your habits. So we need to reduce the habits that cause pain and increase habits that relieve pain. Luckily for you, over the last 15 years as a dedicated self-healing expert, I have figured out what I believe to be the best, fastest options for helping you achieve that pain-free, high-performance life. And when you combine it with healing treatments from your favorite practitioners in massage therapy, acupuncture, chiropractic, then you can get the best results possible. Now, let's dive into the 4 pillars of self-healing, and you can learn about the frameworks behind living a pain-free, high-performance life. Okay, pillar number 1, the 5 core values of self-healing. Core value number 1 is expert communication. Yes, we want to be able to speak like an expert to everyone that we come in contact with. But what about our own bodies? We're so concerned with things on the outside, our dates and our deadlines and things that we have to do. But what about our internal world? Learning how to communicate with your body is the most important and first step to living a pain-free life. Because every time you ignore the signals that your body is trying to tell you, it's like putting a piece of tape over the check engine light in your car. And another light turns on and you put a piece of tape on that one too. Eventually, your car starts breaking down and you can't put any more tape on any more lights. And then we realize the big secret. It would have been a lot easier to take care of each problem as it happened versus waiting for it to become this big mountain of issues. This is why they say listen to your body. But beyond listening, we must understand. And after understanding, we got to know how to give the body what it wants. And this is the essence of expert communication. Being able to communicate with the language of your own body, but also how to express it to professional healers when they come to help you. Core value number 2 is intense focus and discipline. Anything worthwhile is going to take a period of intense focus and discipline to lay a solid foundation. Once that foundation is set, it's a lot easier to maintain. Just like it takes a while to build a house, but then once it's built, it's easier to maintain. This is how we want to think of our own bodies. Build the internal house that can withstand any challenge that life brings towards us. Core value number 3 is extraordinary fitness. How can we be as strong, flexible, and fit as possible? This has so many implications with our physical health, but also our mental health. As humans and creatures of the earth, we are designed for movement. And lack of exercise and fitness is inevitably going to lead to problems later on. Best to take care of your health now so it's easier to take care of later on. Core value number 4 is masterful movement. Let's apply the fitness to complex forms of movement like dancing, football, acrobatics, yoga, whatever it is that you want to do. Some sort of hobby that you love, it has to be built on a foundation of extraordinary fitness. Then when you do whatever activity you like, it's never an issue of I'm not strong enough, I don't have enough energy, I don't have the flexibility. We've already built that in the 3rd core value so that we can evolve into the 4th core value. And this brings us to core value number 5, invincible frame. This is my favorite because it really helps encompass what we're trying to accomplish here. Invincible frame in reference to our body refers to our frame, our structure, our physical structure that can withstand the challenges of life. But what about our internal frame? Our internal frame of reality. Some part of you must always stay solid, invincible, not to be broken down by what happens in life. By holding my internal invincible frame, I will no longer allow another person's words or opinions or even a diagnosis take away my power and make me feel like a victim. I choose to always stay in control of at least a little part of my soul so that it's not taken away by another person. I hold my invincible frame so I can be happy and healthy and serve the people around me. Those are the 5 core values of self-healing, and embodying these 5 core values is how we can navigate through life. When you come across a decision, think, does this align with my values? When I think, should I go run or should I not go run? I think, hey, my core value is extraordinary fitness. I'm gonna go get after it. And this brings us to pillar number 2, strategy. What are we gonna do when we're trying to get after it? We gotta follow a path so that we're not going in the wrong direction. For our strategy, we're gonna do the 3 phases of self-healing, and they are heal, align, and move, or HAM for short. In the heal phase, we're gonna unlock the cage of tension that prevents us from healthy habits. For example, let's say we know that our heads are too forward and it's causing neck problems, but it's difficult to fix our posture because of the tension that prevents us from getting there. So in the heal phase, we either go to get a healing treatment or heal it ourselves with self-healing to unlock that cage so now we can fix our posture. This brings us to phase 2, align. We got to realign our bodies so the bones can stack on top of each other rather than all of our muscles tensing up to keep us from falling over in different directions. Once we've realigned our bodies, we go to phase 3, move. How can we move in this new structure and alignment so that we can lock in our results from the healing and prevent bad habits from pulling us back to square one? This is how we can prevent the problem of getting a healing treatment and having the pain come right back. We have to go through this process to lock in our results and continue evolving to the next level. And this brings us to pillar number 3, mindset. Mindset represents the patterns of thought that guide us along our journey. We want to make sure that we're thinking the right thoughts to get to where we want to go. In this system, we call it the 6 secrets of self-healing. I call them the 6 secrets because these are the 6 most commonly asked questions that I see in the clinic. And these are the 6 most commonly told answers that I provide to my clients who always come in confused about where their pain is coming from and how to get out of it. Secret number 1 is the origin of pain. Where does pain come from and how does it affect our lives? The short version is tight muscles and chronic stress. They are at the top of the umbrella that come down and affect the rest of our lives. Almost all injuries are going to be associated with tight muscles. If tight muscles are pulling the bones together, pressing on nerves and causing problems, then the solution is to relax and release those muscles. Chronic stress affects us by creating constant tension and affecting our hormones through the release of cortisol. If we're always in the stress response of, oh my gosh, I gotta get this done and I gotta do that, and we're just running on adrenaline, we're not designed to run on adrenaline. It's like using your survival mechanism all the time when it's only designed to be used for a short period of time. I call this chill and kill. We want to stay in chill mode and only activate the survival response when we really need to. This way, we're going to have enough energy to use it properly versus wasting it when we don't need to. And when it comes time to use our survival response, we don't have enough gas and it's not there. Secret number 2 is the power of self-healing. Now that we know where pain comes from, what are we going to do to heal it? Now, my favorite methods are the self-healing warm-up and the 5 elements of self-healing, which we're going to talk about later on. Now, the self-healing warm-up is a 5-step process that I take my clients through to learn how to take themselves out of stress mode and put yourself back into relax mode. Now, for time's sake, we're just going to take 3 deep breaths together. Now, settle in and follow along. And inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Do you feel that? You feel how everything kind of settles when we just take 3 deep breaths? This is how we can get out of survival mode and into relax mode. It's the breath that is the switch that controls whether your body goes into fight or flight or rest and relax. In medical terms, we call this sympathetic versus parasympathetic. This brings us to secret number 3, good pain versus bad pain. Now that we're healing ourselves, we have to know whether we're doing the right thing or we're causing more problems. One time, I taught a friend how to heal the back of his hand using a ball. And I was so excited to hear about how everything was better and it's magical. But when I checked in with him the next week, he said, oh, my hand is all sore and swollen and puffy and it hurts even worse. And I thought, that doesn't make any sense. You're supposed to feel better. How are you doing it? And he responded, oh yeah, I'm just pushing on and grinding on it as hard as I could, trying to break up the scar tissue. I thought, oh no, you did too much. When you cross that threshold into bad pain, then you're causing more damage. Good pain is where it hurts a little bit, but it still feels like it's helping. Like when you're getting a deep tissue massage or when you feel the burn from exercise. Bad pain is that sharp pain that makes you scrunch up your face and you're just forcing yourself through it. Yes, it's important to be able to do that when you need to, but most of the time, that's just going to be causing more problems. Which brings us to secret number 4, the health bank account. This is how we keep track of whether we're doing the right thing or if we're causing more problems. Every time that you do something healthy for yourself, it's like a deposit into your health bank account. And every time that you use your body, like going to work or exercising, it's like a withdrawal, taking money out of your health bank account. You have your daily expenses of normal things like moving around and exercising, but you also have your surprise expenses of illness and injury. It takes a hit to your bank account, like when you scratch your bumper and now you have to pay for this extra thing. When we have more withdrawals than we do deposits, I call this health debt. The level to which that you have an issue, a problem that's not going away, that's equal to the level of health debt that you're in. Just like financial debt, it's there, it's not going away, and it's just going to get worse over time. The same thing happens with a chronic illness or injury, which again, all goes back to tight muscles and chronic stress. If you have something that you're not sure where it's coming from, just ask yourself, are my muscles tight? Am I chronically stressed? In my experience, usually the answer is going to be yes. Now, when we're in a place where we don't have any more pain, we're out of health debt. But you don't want to just be a little bit out of debt. You want to have an abundance of health so that you can handle anything that comes your way, because you have so much stored up in your health bank account that a little injury, no big deal. A little sickness, no big deal. You can handle it because you have all of these streams of health income coming into your health bank account. When you get to the point where it's just habitual, you don't have to think about it. Anytime that you have some sort of pain coming up, because remember, we are expert communicators with our body, right? We're automatically scheduling our healing treatments. We know what to do for our self-healing. When we don't have to think about that process anymore and we're just healing all the time, I call that retiring from pain. You want to get to the point now where your habits are so good that you don't have to think about pain. You don't have to worry about pain. You never have to fear about if your body is going to work properly for the next 30, 40, 50 years, because you have all the systems set up to retire from pain. Because like they say, the person with their health has infinite wishes, but the person without their health only has one: to become healthy again. And this brings us to secret number 5, the window of opportunity. How can we take advantage of windows of opportunity to get to our goal of a pain-free life as fast as possible? Now, my favorite way is through either getting a healing treatment or opening our own window of opportunity with self-healing. You ever come across a situation where you feel better for a little while, either after a healing treatment or even after a good night's rest? Most of the time, when we're feeling good, we just go about our day. Hey, this feels great. I feel amazing. But then we're surprised when the window closes and the pain comes back. I found that the window of opportunity is the best and most vital time to be changing your habits for the better, because it's going to be easier because we released all that tension. Now we can adjust our posture, exercise, stretch, things that are often difficult when we just try to do them by themselves. But because we're taking advantage of a window of opportunity, we can propel ourselves forward much quicker. But how do we maintain these results? This brings us to secret number 6, the muscle memory of relaxation. Just like we have muscle memory for strength, speed, or coordination, we want to build muscle memory for relaxation. Ideally, we want to operate from a place of calm, grounded centeredness. Ideally, we want to operate from a place of calm, grounded centeredness. And from here, we can choose to amp it up or bring it down depending on what our body can handle. And just like at first, when you're learning to drive a car, you have to think of all these different things. What am I doing? But then as you get used to it, now you don't have to think about it. You can just go. The same thing applies to self-healing and healthy habits. We want to build that muscle memory so now we don't have to think about it. It just happens. And this helps to propel us forward on our goal to living a pain-free life. These are the 6 secrets, and this is the framework that's going to help guide our mind in the right direction as we take our action steps. Speaking of action, let's talk about pillar number 4, the 5 elements of self-healing. Now, this is the meat and potatoes of it all. These are the actual steps that we take along this path. Now that we know what our goal is, we know what the strategy is to get there, and we know the patterns of thought that are going to keep us on track. The first element is called self-massage mastery. The first thing that I'm gonna do if you come in for a healing treatment is give you a massage. It's gonna help relax your muscles, put your body into a relaxed state, and facilitate the healing process. We do this through using a combination of deep tissue massage and acupressure. Using a ball as our primary tool, I can teach you how to heal yourself in the same way that I would heal you if you came to me for a healing treatment. I've created a map of the entire body and techniques for each muscle so that you can relieve any kind of pain in the body. The way that I teach how to use a ball is different than how it's used on the internet. A lot of the times people talk about putting the ball against the wall and moving your whole body, but in my opinion, you have to tense up a lot of muscles to stay upright. It's a lot easier to use your body weight on the floor or on a bed or on a chair so that you can relax your muscles and use gravity to help you along that path. The other difference is that in this way, we're not gonna move our entire bodies on top of the ball because that creates that tension that prevents the ball from sinking in deeper. We're gonna keep the ball in one spot, allow our bodies to sink on top, and use farther away parts of our body to make the muscle floss on top of the ball. This way, the ball can be pinned in the muscle and stretch it from the inside, which is going to be more effective than trying to get it from the outside when your muscles are already tense. Next is element 2, anchored stretching. This style of stretching is different than how they teach it in physical therapy and yoga, although there might be a little bit of crossover. For example, a lot of my patients who come to me with neck pain, when I ask them about what sort of exercises they've been doing, they do stretches like this, which is great for increasing range of motion. But what about anchored stretching? How can we place anchors to pull the muscle past its normal range of motion so we can create those gains in flexibility? In the way that I teach how to stretch, we stretch multiple body parts at the same time so that we can actually get a full body stretch and make things move along much quicker than if we're just following a rigid two-dimensional path. Also, stretching is going to be a lot easier when you use the ball to unlock the locks. You ever stretch your body and feel like something is catching and preventing you from stretching further? That's an example of a lock on the body. The ball is the key to unlock the lock so that you could stretch more easily. And this is how we start combining elements together to become even more powerful. The third element is energy healing. This is about learning how to tap into the energy of our bodies so that we can move it through to facilitate good health. People have been doing this in various cultures throughout the world for thousands of years. And only now is it starting to be accepted in the West through things like Reiki, Qigong, pranic breathing. In traditional Chinese medicine, we say when the energy moves, the blood moves. And when the blood is circulating well, we can have good health. In this part of the program, I'm going to teach you how to become aware of your internal energy and cultivate it so that it's no longer a mystery. It's going to help you meditate more easily because now we can focus our minds on one subject. It's going to help you be more mindful and grounded and become more in touch with your emotions and clear stagnant emotions like stress and anger. This is how I learned how to meditate, was through energy healing. It's hard to just sit there and not think any thoughts. It's a lot easier to go from a million thoughts to one thought and then gently slip into that blissful arena of no thought. It's going to be hard to go from a million thoughts to nothing. So when we focus our thoughts through energy healing, it's going to allow us to get to our goal a lot more easily. The fourth element is movement mechanics. These are exercises inspired from internal martial arts on how to hold our structure and our frames in a way that allow our bodies to be as efficient and pain-free as possible. Oftentimes, our movement patterns have been created from when we were a kid, falling down, having different emotional experiences, and then we use that programming throughout life. It may have served us back when we were kids, but now as adults, you may notice that those patterns are starting to cause more problems. So the beauty of being an adult is that now you can consciously create exactly the type of body and habits that you want to have. So now you're no longer reacting to your environment, you are consciously deciding how to navigate through that environment. Learn how to move like a master and life will be effortless. And finally, element 5 is ultimate coordination. Here, I've taken exercises from my experience as a street dancer and applied it to health and healing. These exercises help to bridge the mind-body gap so that when you move your body, you don't have to think about it. When we're able to bridge that mind-body gap, our coordination and our reflexes are going to help us so much for when we're older in life. When we bridge the mind-body gap, it's going to improve our coordination and our reflexes that will serve us for the rest of our life. This is going to help prevent all of the injuries that happen in older age that come from tripping and falling and bumping into different things. You don't want to fall and break a limb when you're older, because not only is that a much bigger toll on your body, but the surgery and recovery from that is too much for the body to handle. Best to learn these skills now so that you can prevent future surgeries from happening. And if you've already had surgery, using the 5 elements of self-healing are going to help you heal so much faster than doing nothing. The time frame that people give you of how long it's going to take really is just waiting for your muscles to relax over time. But when we use the 5 elements to get in there and speed up that process, we can recover so much more quickly. So the framework goes like this. Let's say you have a knot of muscle that's causing pain. We use self-massage mastery to open the knot. We use anchored stretching to pull it apart. We use energy healing to flush it through so that we can have good blood circulation. Then we use movement mechanics to fix our posture and learn how to move in a way that's healthy for our bodies. And then we use ultimate coordination, learning how to move our body in a smooth way so that we have good reflexes and coordination. You can see how this applies to our strategy of heal, align, and move. Now, once you get this basic framework down, you can mix and match and figure out what works best for you. And this is the beauty of the Self-Healing Institute. We are going to coach you and help you find your own customized self-healing routine. Because I could teach you all sorts of different techniques, but if it's not helping you in the way that you want, it's going to be a long journey. We are here to help cut down the time it takes to learn. It took me so long to figure out all these techniques by myself through the 15 years of self-healing, healing other people, all the education of massage school, acupuncture school, all the training I've been through in my life. We've put all of this information together so that we could just give it to you on a silver platter so you can heal as fast as possible. Just like we no longer have to figure out how to grow crops so that we can get food later on, we already know the foundation and now it's easier to do it. The same thing for self-healing. I figured it out and we're going to give it to you so that you can get to your goal as fast as possible. So these are the 4 pillars of self-healing. We have our values, the 5 core values that we talked about that lead us into our strategy, which is the path that we take. And then our mindset, which is our thought patterns, and then our actions, the steps that we take along that path. If you want to learn how to heal yourself and live a pain-free, high-performance life, click the link below and schedule a call to meet with me or my team, and we'll help discuss what is the best path to help get you to your goal of living pain-free and retiring from pain. Click the link below, sign up for a call, and I'll see you on the other side. Thank you so much. Peace out.